That was Polaris, and it's from the brand new album from Damon Albarn, which is called The Nearer the Fountain, More Pure the Stream Flows. And Damon is on the line to talk to us right now. How do we find you this week? Are you well?
Yes, I'm standing on my balcony and I can see Wembley in the distance.
Okay, how does it feel to be in London? Because you're a traveller, you move around, you've got homes in a couple of different places. And I know Iceland is one of the places that's inspired this album, Devon as well. So when you're in London, how does that make you feel? Do you feel a little bit hemmed in, or do you thrive?
Well, I suppose like last year I spent so much time down in Devon. I kind of really appreciate being back in London. I mean, I don't know how long I want to stay here because I've kind of got quite comfortable down in the countryside.
But you have the best of both worlds. You can go between the two.
Well, I'm extremely fortunate.
You're still doing yoga?
Yes.
Very good.
I do.
Very inspired by our last conversation to do more yoga.
I do my yoga, and when I'm down there, I swim every morning.
Oh, do you? How is it? Great distances, or is it just a matter of getting cold and wet?
Well, it depends what time of year. I mean, in January, I wasn't swimming too much. I was just sort of getting in and swimming and then getting out and freezing. But now it's, just swim.
And what are the benefits for you? How does it make you feel?
I don't know. It's been a very, really good medicine for depression.
Depression that you've been feeling during the course of the pandemic?
I don't think anyone has felt has not been touched by depression. I think that's the nature of the times we live in. You know? So it's just how you sort of combat that, really.
It's a good form of medicine. The songs on this record are, you've said, orchestrations and kind of ruminations inspired by the natural world, and particularly in Iceland. So can you explain to us what you see when you go to Iceland? What should we have in our heads?
Well, I was given this gift by this lovely Frenchman, Marc Cardinal, who used to be the artistic director for the Lyon Festival. And he said, I give you this offer of you can do whatever you want. And I was, it's actually quite a hard thing to sort of question to answer, because But I luckily had this thing I've always wanted to do, which was sit in my front room in Iceland and look out over the sea and the mountain Esja and make music as the sort of day and the seasons changed. And I was doing that. I had like 12 classical musicians, and we were just sort of setting up before dawn and then waiting as the sun came up, and then just sort of playing the mood of whatever that day was. And so I was doing that, and that was kind of what the Nearer the Fountain was going to sort of manifest itself as. And then COVID appeared in all our lives, and I wasn't able to spend any more time there. So I just got to a point in Devon where I just really needed to articulate how I was feeling, and that was the sort of perfect springboard to attempt that.
Can you just try to describe what the vista is like, what that view is like, so that people have that in their head when they're listening to this music? I know it's very difficult, but just any kind of an outline of what it looks like.
Well, behind a window, and then you look out and there's a links golf course, then there's a black sand beach, then there's a sort of fjord stroke bay, and there's a little island where eiderdown duck nest, and then further away there's this beautiful mountain called Esja, and then even further away on a clear day you can see Snæfellsjökull, which is the volcano and glacier that Jules Verne used for Journey to the Centre of the Earth.
Oh, wow. So instead of making you feel, because it could be quite bleak in a very beautiful kind of way, but you find it quite uplifting?
It is bleak, but it changes so much that's why it was such a sort of gift to make music to, because it's always changing, and you get to know all the wildlife and the different patterns in the waves and the high and low tide and the rain and the snow, and it's just
sounds wonderful.
It's endless, really.
Okay, let's play another track from the album. I think this is the first one that we heard. This is The Nearer the Fountain, More Pure the Stream Flows. Nearer the Fountain from Damon Albarn, who's on the line to us right now. We last saw you at Glastonbury. How was your experience at Glastonbury this time round? I found it incredibly moving, your performance in particular, to watch. But what was it like for you?
Well, to be honest with you, it was one of the best Glastonburys I've ever been to. just in the sense that you just got a real appreciation for the countryside and the space, you know? It's kind of magical to be there with nobody. I mean, obviously I missed an audience massively, but just to have that opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play at Glastonbury with nobody, I'll treasure that.
Yeah, it was very intimate. It was incredibly intimate, and the way you spoke to people all around you, there was something that really drew you in as a viewer. It was very moving, and under the big moon as well.
A huge moon, which but the experience was only slightly marred by 2 days later. I was watching Eurovision, and Spain had the same moon.
I saw it. What was your reaction?
I was like, oh well, you know what I mean. You know when you feel special, then you realise. I mean, you know, you still feel special, but not quite as special.
Special for 48 hours. But you watch
exactly.
You watch Eurovision then? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do like Eurovision.
Do you?
Yeah.
But what about it? Why? I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised.
Well, because it's so mad. It's like it's the maddest TV show in the world.
Yeah, it's incredible. And did the right people win?
And you know, and it's these petty politics that sort of come into play, like the UK getting nul point.
I know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, surely it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
Maybe it was, but I'm sure it wasn't.
It absolutely was not.
Please say we can. No, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just politics then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, so it's kind of quite gripping, isn't it? What else are you watching on TV? What kind of things do you watch?
I've really tried to keep reading during this period, but I have to say I've not done. You know, I've done an okay job, but not a great job. So I've read some really good, challenging stuff over the last year, but I've also watched a lot of Netflix and Prime.
Out of necessity, I think. So anything in particular stands out?
So much good stuff. So much good stuff. Where do I start? The last thing I really loved was the Sean Bean Time.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Graham as well, yeah.
He's just always brilliant. He's incredible. I love him so much.
We'll take a break. Can I just ask, is there a song that you find incredibly uplifting, something that we can play now, a favourite song?
Elizabeth Cotton, Sugar Lee. That's a beautiful song.
All right.
Everything I got is done.
Sugar Lee from Elizabeth Cotton, talking to Damon Albarn at the moment. Hey, Gorillaz are going to be playing at Boardmasters this year. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know whether any of that is real, but I mean, I suppose in theory, yeah, we're going to do something there. Yeah, it'd be great.
That's genuinely how you feel, like you can't quite believe or don't have any sense of whether it's really going to happen. It's so surreal, isn't it?
I've honestly got so used to playing in a kind of circle with musicians. I mean, none of us know if we can actually face an audience again.
Will you be nervous?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It just seems so sort of, it's like, you know, when you've been doing something that you're so kind of familiar with, and then you just haven't done it for nearly 2 years, or over 2 years for me. It's kind of, yeah, who knows what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously looking forward to it.
And I was wondering, how do you feel about your voice? What's your relationship with your voice? Because you are singing so beautifully on this record throughout the entire thing. How's it changed?
I think honestly, I think yoga has really, really helped me with my singing. It's given me so much more control of my voice. And I've sort of realised that you don't have to shout all the time. So that's been a revelation.
No, I was very fascinated. I thought it must have been quite an important thing to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'd like to think that you get better as you get older. It's the one thing you hold on to, isn't it? Because everything else falls away. It's sort of the thing I've dedicated my life to, I'm going to get better at. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think the voice, yeah, I mean, you're lucky you can sing, gosh. But the voice is something that you can play with for forever, and you can, I mean, you're incredibly lucky to be able to do that. It will change and you'll enjoy it.
I mean, I always feel it really acutely when I'm doing Gorillaz. I put my voice next to these amazing singers, and I just feel really inadequate. But it's like I just have to get over that.
Do you like your voice?
Not really. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly good at anything, to be honest with you. I just sort of, I mean, I just love doing it. So that's enough for me.
I tell you what you are good at, and that is
for the love of it.
For the love of it, that's lovely. But you are good at being motivated and being very, very prolific, where others might have just sat around at home and got quite despondent. You've just been creating and making and giving us more and more music. I guess it's important.
it's the only way I could deal. That's my coping mechanism, making music.
It's the thing that keeps you sane-ish.
Yeah, I'm not sane, but it just keeps me kind of it just keeps me kind of feeling like there's a point to me because we're all very small, aren't we, really?
Oh, and so brief.
Let's face it.
So fleeting.
And so brief, so small and so fleeting.
Yeah. I know you enjoyed very much being in Devon and being with your family, with, the elder generations and the younger generations as well. How do you feel that time has kind of come to an end?
Well, I suspect, I'm with Bob Dylan on this, I don't think it's the end. I think it's only the beginning.
In what way?
I don't know. I just think, if you look at everything as being nature, then you have to kind of accept that, like, mobile phones and pandemics and kind of politics, everything is actually part of nature. So nature is in control and always has been. And so nature's going to make us change, because we're obviously doing some really horrific things to nature at the moment. It's not going to allow us to do it. So just have to accept that stuff's going to change.
Remember who's in control.
I think it's, none of us, basically.
Yeah. No, nature is the one that's in control. What is happiness for you? Final question. Happiness is what for Damon?
Happiness is watching England beat Denmark.
And we'll end with, can I ask you for a song that takes you back to your childhood, whether it's your grandparents or your parents or just a time when you were little and something makes you quite nostalgic?
Terry Jack's Seasons in the Sun always gets me. I think that was the first time my ear pricked up. I must have been about 4 at the time, in the radio in the car, and I just thought, that's what I want to be doing. I want to be making music like that. Okay. Jack Brel. Then I discovered Jack Brel, who's just a genius.
Okay, well, we'll play Terry Jackson. We'll just destroy everybody listening right now by playing this particular track.
Sorry about that. You're never going to get anything short of sort of despondent and melancholic from me, really.
You are the master of melancholy, and that is why we love you. Thank you so much, and congratulations on the album. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully see you very, very soon.